According to IRS Form 990, the filings reveal disturbing financial irregularities, with Jermaine Shermock. That's how he files it. He doesn't file it under Dr. Umar Shermock. It's Jermaine. Okay?
And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account.
So, the FBI just crushed Dr. Umar's whole empire with a bombshell case that could leave him rotting in prison for decades. We're not talking about some small charges either. This is RICO, tax fraud, and wire fraud all stacked on top of each other. And the crazy part? The feds claim they've got straight-up receipts showing the money trail from those donations he collected for that so-called school he promised to build. Now he's panicking, because this time his words and long speeches can't save him. The streets are asking one simple question. Is Dr. Umar really a fraud, or did somebody powerful set him up? But before we even break down these charges, we gotta rewind to the exact moment Dr. Umar realized the law had him cornered. Because trust me, he did not handle it well. He jumped on Instagram Live, wild-eyed and sweating, blasting out a rant about how the system was targeting an innocent black man who just wanted to uplift his people. He was yelling, pacing, and pointing fingers, but for once his voice cracked. This wasn't the confident Umar people are used to. This time it looked like the mask slipped. He wasn't just preaching anymore, he was scared. He claimed his bank accounts were suddenly frozen, and now it all lines up.
Why, Dr. Umar is not a real person that anybody should be taking any advice from. I hope that we all understand that, but it seems like some folks are surprised.
Because those same accounts are at the heart of the Fed's fraud case. If these charges stick, he's not looking at just a slap on the wrist. He could be gone for decades. What most people didn't realize at the time is that Dr. Umar filmed that wild Instagram rant right after the feds told him to turn himself in. If you look back at the footage, you can literally catch the split second where it hits him. His whole hustle, his entire image was about to come crashing down. That fake confidence slipped, and you could see the panic in his eyes. According to reports, Umar did end up turning himself in, but he tried to play it slick. He made sure his inner circle kept it low-key. No mugshots leaking out, no big press statements, no flashy walk into the courthouse. Just a quiet surrender, because he knew if the media caught wind of him in cuffs, it would be game over for his leader of the people image. The one thing he feared the most, the world finally seeing him as a scammer, was right around the corner. What Umar didn't know, though, was that the feds weren't about to keep this clean and quiet. They had already started leaking documents that ripped the cover off his entire operation.
The Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my Pay.
And just when Umar thought he could slide under the radar, guess who popped up? None other than Tasha K. And you know when she shows up, it's receipts on receipts. In one of her latest YouTube exposés, she went straight for Umar's jugular. She broke down the so-called school project that Umar's been waving around for years. And this part is critical because the FBI's indictment actually lists those missing school donations as key evidence in the fraud and racketeering charges. Tasha didn't just talk gossip, she came with hard facts and real numbers. According to her, Umar wasn't using those donations to build anything real. Instead, she claimed he was skimming funds for his personal lifestyle. And when the IRS came knocking for answers, he flat out refused to account for the money to dodge taxes. That's exactly why the feds are on his neck right now. And when you hear Tasha lay it all out, the story isn't blurry anymore. The numbers tell it all. Here's the real context. Dr. Umar has been begging for donations to build this so-called school for years. And let's be clear, he didn't have some money stacked up already and just needed a little public support. No, every single dime that's gone into this project has come directly from the pockets of everyday people.
What's going on? Now, according to IRS Form 990, the filings reveal disturbing financial irregularities, with Jermaine Shermock. That's how he files it. He doesn't file it under Dr. Umar Shermock. It's Jermaine, Now, the nonprofit shows assets of $634,436 as of 2024. This is what he's saying that he raised. This is what he reported. Okay, now you know he go begging inside of that car without a haircut every other day or on the side of the building in which he lives in, because they say his house is right there on a row house in Philadelphia somewhere. Okay, according to the IRS filings, this is inconsistent reporting of contributions. Okay, now while official filings show that only $321,408 in total contributions over the last 5 years, evidence suggests Johnson raised significantly more through other channels.
And the shady part? Umar has never been transparent about how much he's collected or where exactly the money is going. Instead, he gets online, shouting and demanding that black parents pull their kids out of public schools and hand over funds for his dream project. To a lot of folks, it started looking less like a community mission and more like a straight-up hustle. Even the name of the school raises eyebrows. Umar claims he's a descendant of Frederick Douglass, but he's never proved it, and the actual Douglass family has publicly said they don't recognize him. Yet that didn't stop people from believing in him and donating their hard-earned cash. They thought they were helping create something historic. But here we are years later, and the school still hasn't opened. Every time the opening date gets close, boom, another excuse, another delay. Coincidence? Maybe to some. But now, with these federal charges hanging over him, prosecutors are saying it's no accident at all. They believe Umar himself kept creating fake obstacles to stall while the money disappeared. Take the most recent delay, for example. Back in June, Umar reported a so-called vandalism incident at the school. He claimed priceless cultural artifacts and the entire library were destroyed. Sounds dramatic, right? Well, prosecutors are now flipping that story and using it as evidence, saying the vandalism was just another cover-up, a convenient excuse to hide the missing donations that are now tied directly to his fraud case. Here's where things get even sketchier.
And Africanism, brothers and sisters, I'm back again. While I was on the live, the children had snuck into the school, which means they knew the door was unlocked. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. For children to know that a door is opened, and I was only away from the school for 30 days. For children to know that the door was open, and I was only away from the school for 30 days. For children to know the door was open, and I was only away from the school for 30 days, I wonder when they broke in. I wonder when they broke in, because if the children already know the door was open.
Umar claimed the vandalism destroyed educational supplies and cultural artifacts, but conveniently, not a single part of the actual building was touched. Just enough damage, he said, to make sure the school couldn't open this year. And to sell the story even harder, he went online and posted a bizarre video of himself interrogating a group of kids, like they were the ones who broke into the building. But here's the kicker. He posted those kids' faces without their parents' consent. Who does that? And even worse, police couldn't confirm anything. There was no real report, no trail, no photos, nothing. Just that one shaky clip Umar uploaded himself. If we're keeping it real, the damage didn't even look serious enough to delay the opening for a whole year. Something was off, and people could smell the lies. The internet started demanding answers, and one viral comment nailed it perfectly. Where's the proof of this supposed vandalism? Were you insured? Why haven't you posted one single image of the damage? Or is the real vandalism you and this entire fake project? That one comment spread like wildfire, because it voiced what everybody was already thinking. And it didn't stop there. Someone with banking knowledge even called Umar out directly, saying his story about frozen accounts didn't add up at all. The holes in his excuses were so big you could drive a truck through them. Then, just a few weeks later, the truth finally slipped out. That mysterious vandalism wasn't some random act of hate. Prosecutors started connecting it directly to his fraud case. When the documents surfaced, Umar couldn't even defend himself. It was clear this whole staged disaster was just another excuse to cover up the missing money, and it's exactly why the feds put him under investigation. Turns out, Dr. Umar wasn't just fighting phantom vandals, he was drowning in unpaid bills too. Reports revealed that he'd been skipping out on vacant property registration fees and utility bills tied to the so-called school building. Things got so bad that the property itself was literally facing auction. The deadline? August 25th, 2025. If he didn't cough up the cash, the school was gone for good. So what did Umar do? He went into full defense mode, spinning the story like he always does. He claimed the fees were punitive and discriminatory, saying the state was out to crush his dream and shut the school down. Then he flipped the script, painting himself as a victim once again, begging supporters for more donations to save the school. The manipulation was so obvious it almost looked rehearsed. And here's where it gets messier. According to Tasha K, Umar wasn't just begging for sympathy, he was pulling these stunts as a way to dodge jail time. But if you thought Tasha's tea was hot, the bombshell came when leaked federal documents exposed Umar's alleged PayPal scam. And that's when it became crystal clear the feds weren't letting him slide. The leaked report painted a brutal picture. Umar had allegedly raked in over $1.5 million in donations through GoFundMe and PayPal, not just for the school, but for other charity causes he claimed would uplift the Black community. Sounds noble, right? Except nobody could point to a single project or achievement that came out of all that money. No receipts, no results, just vague promises and endless videos. And whenever the criticism started heating up, Umar fell back on the same tired playbook, record another rant, blame the system, and warn his followers not to be fooled by outsiders. But with $1.5 million unaccounted for and the feds breathing down his neck, those excuses weren't going to cut it anymore. For years, Umar's slick talk and victim card kept people fooled until folks finally started pressing him with questions he couldn't answer. And that's when the cracks started showing. One of the loudest voices to call him out was Charleston White, who went straight for Umar's jugular. He accused him of preying on Black women, using emotional blackmail to squeeze money out of them while pretending to be their protector. Charleston said it plain. Umar ain't an ally, he's a hustler. And the wild part? Charleston wasn't lying.
Mentioned Umar Johnson, and I don't know what's going on with his school, but I know that
you know what's going on with the school. It ain't been built. Shit, ain't nobody seen the classroom. Just seen the flag hanging out, flying in front of.
They've been talking about it for 15 years, 16 years, or something like that.
Yeah. He been lying. And results is everything.
Yeah.
Results is everything. I ain't never built nothing begging. Other than Joel Osteen, but his daddy passed him to church.
Yeah, that is true.
His daddy passed. I ain't never seen him build nothing begging.
Umar has built his whole image around being the champion of Black women, constantly pandering to them online, holding himself up as the standard of loyalty. He even drags men like Jonathan Majors for dating outside the community. But when those same women dare to question him, suddenly Umar flips, hurling insults and belittling the very people he claims to fight for. That double standard is catching up to him fast. What makes this moment so explosive is that it's no longer just his haters calling him out. Now, even people who once supported him are walking away. Former donors are pulling their funds, demanding receipts, and quietly unfollowing him on social media. Some have even gone public, blasting him for being nothing more than a crook hiding behind a fake cause. The shift has been so dramatic that longtime supporters are now flipping into critics, and when the people who once defended you start labeling you a scammer, that's when the empire really begins to crumble. The internet was stunned when one particular figure, who used to ride for Umar heavy, finally spoke out against him. And that's when the walls started closing in. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. The person to flip on Umar wasn't just a random critic, it was his close friend and longtime ally, Tariq Nasheed. Tariq sat down with DJ Vlad for an interview, and when Umar's name came up, he didn't bite his tongue at all. He admitted that, in the beginning, he truly believed in Umar's school project. That's major, because if even Umar's own allies are backing up the FBE's claims, it means the so-called school was never about education. It was about fraud, plain and simple. Tariq explained how it all started with big dreams, a Pan-African vision of a school that would empower future generations. He even revealed that he personally donated a lot of money to make that dream a reality. But slowly, he began losing faith. Why? Because instead of focusing on the mission, Umar got addicted to the spotlight, chasing clout on social media, stirring up drama, and diving into conspiracy rants that had nothing to do with building a school. The final straw came when Tariq tried to caution Umar, basically telling him to stop playing games and get serious about the vision. Instead of listening, Umar brushed him off. And that's when the friendship cracked. Watching Tariq in that interview, you could almost see the disappointment in real time. The respect he once had for Umar was slipping away, and by the end, it was clear. Even Tariq had to admit Umar looked shady and untrustworthy. But here's where it gets even darker, because while all this drama was playing out publicly, Umar had no idea that the FBI had already been watching him for years. According to reports, the first serious strike against him came way back in 2018, and it didn't even involve money. That's when the State Board of Psychology accused Umar of practicing without a license.
When he was talking about that school about a decade ago, I was for it. I donated to it. And a lot of people, every time Umar does something, they would tie me in.
Really?
Oh, they would always tie me in.
I've never heard about this.
They would always tie anything he did. Hey, Tariq, what's up with Umar? Because I put Umar on. He wanted to use that notoriety to get money for the school. I'm like, hey, I'm all for that. But then when people start seeing all of the excuses, people start getting skeptical, and people start always coming to me, man, what's up with Umar? You and Umar in y'all school. Hey, I don't have, hey, no, y'all school. No, it's not y'all school. No, but you had them in your movies. They just tie me in, and I can't. I said, look, to be honest, I don't think the school is happening. I said this about around 2017. And, Umar we fell out because he started kind of attacking me publicly. And, I helped the guy get him. Yeah, he started attacking me. And then I started getting in on him. So we fell out. And, I told people back in 2017, I said, let me keep it a bean, man. That school ain't never going to get built. That's just, don't ask me about it again. That's my opinion. It ain't going to get built, man. Just if it's going to get built, it would have been built already.
Not only was that embarrassing for someone calling himself Dr. Umar, but it exposed a deeper pattern of deception. And now, prosecutors are dragging that old case back into the spotlight, using it as evidence that Umar has been running scams and misleading the community for years. Now, of course, Umar denied everything, every charge, every receipt, every red flag. He cried foul, claiming he was being targeted by a corrupt system. He even complained that his Facebook and GoFundMe pages were suspended for no reason, spinning it like the world was out to silence him. Then came the rants, the same old speeches that once made people feel sorry for him. But this time, the receipts told a completely different story, because the truth is, there are countless videos of Umar online pretending to be a psychologist, acting like he's licensed to diagnose and counsel people. He's been using those same psychological tricks to squeeze donations out of his supporters for years. Don't forget, he even self-published a book called Psychoacademic Holocaust: The Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys. In it, he argued that learning disabilities and mental illnesses were being weaponized against black kids. But not long after, he dropped a video claiming ADHD and other mental health issues weren't even real. That flip-flop alone exposed him, because if he denies practicing psychology, then how do you explain years of videos showing him playing shrink? The contradiction proves he's not just confused, he's been lying, and those lies might not just be about money. They could actually be harmful to the very people who trusted him most. Once the feds dug deeper, it all unraveled fast. The fake school delays, the frozen accounts, the bogus psychology claims. Every little scam Umar thought he buried is now Exhibit A in a federal courtroom. And here's the kicker. The feds aren't backing off. His supporters are walking away, and the paper trail keeps stacking higher by the day. Unless a miracle drops from the sky, Umar's not walking back into that academy he's been promising for years. He's walking straight into a prison cell. Love this breakdown? Then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More receipts and more raw stories are coming your way.